Discipline is not about doing things you hate. It's about doing what you know is necessary to achieve your dreams. Success is built on consistency. Discipline makes sure you show up every day, even when motivation fades. What if your goals are not out of reach, but your habits are holding you back? What if the reason you keep stopping is not because you're weak, but because you're distracted? What if the discipline you need is already inside you, but you've never trained it the right way? Self-discipline isn't a gift you're born with, it's a skill you build. Most people talk about motivation, but they never create real structure. They say they want results, but they keep making excuses. If you've ever felt stuck, lazy, or frustrated with your own lack of consistency, this is for you. These 7 proven techniques are simple, clear, and powerful. You don't need talent, you need a decision. You don't need perfect conditions, you need a system. Today you're going to learn how to take control of your time, your choices, and your future. If you're ready to take full ownership of your actions and build lasting habits that will lead you to success, then completely commit to mastering self-discipline. Now let's dive in. Number 1. Wake up early and take control of your day. Discipline is not something you get by chance. It is something you build by choice. And one of the most powerful choices you can ever make is to get up early every single day, not for anyone else. For you, for your growth, for your future. Because the early hours of the day are not just about time, they are about ownership. Ownership of your life, your habits, your time, your mindset, your goals. When the world is quiet and still, when there are no distractions, no noise, no outside pressure, that is when you truly meet yourself. That is the time when you shape your direction. That is where you build strength and character. Waking up early gives you that space. That space to think. That space to move without rush. That space to build something real within you. You do not build discipline in comfort. You build it by rising when it is hard. You build it by showing yourself that you are stronger than the voice in your head that says sleep a little longer. You train your mind to obey your commitment, not your feelings. That is what discipline looks like. You stop letting comfort guide you and start letting purpose lead you. When you wake up late, you are already behind. You are already reacting. You are chasing the day instead of leading it. But when you get up early, you are choosing to lead your life, not follow it. You are choosing to be in charge, not to drift. That is the difference between people who stay stuck and people who move forward. The ones who take control of their morning, take control of their future. You do not have to wake up at 4 or 5 or do something extreme. Just wake up earlier than you usually do. Start with 30 minutes. Use that time for yourself. Don't pick up your phone. Don't check social media. Use that time to sit quietly. Think, reflect, read, move your body. Stretch, feel the air. Drink water. Feel your feet on the floor. Be present. That moment when you rise early is your first win of the day. And that win builds momentum. You feel it. You know it. You start your day already moving forward. You are not stressed. You are not rushing. You are calm. You are focused. And that feeling carries into everything else. You eat better. You think better. You speak better. You work better. When you do this every day, you are not just building a habit, you are shaping your identity. You are becoming the kind of person who does hard things. The kind of person who follows through. The kind of person who shows up even when no one is watching. That is what discipline does. It builds belief, and belief fuels action. You may feel tired. Some mornings you will not want to move. But remember this, you are not your feelings. You are your decisions. Your decisions shape your future. If you always act on how you feel, you will stay stuck. But if you act on who you want to become, you will grow. And that growth starts in the morning. It starts when the alarm goes off and you choose to rise. The bed will feel warm. The covers will feel safe. But safety does not build strength. Action does. Get out of bed. Feel the floor. Wash your face. Look in the mirror and remind yourself why you got up. Not because it was easy. Because it was necessary. Because the life you want is built on the choices you make every single day. And this choice matters. You will notice something as you stay consistent. You start trusting yourself. You start respecting your own word. You say you will get up, and you do. That trust is powerful. It gives you confidence. And confidence does not come from talk. It comes from action, from following through, from proving to yourself that you can rely on you. Others will see the difference too. They will notice the energy you bring, the way you carry yourself, the way you show up, and they may not say anything, but they will feel it. Because discipline does not need to be loud. It shows in how you live, how you work, how you treat others, how you use your time. That quiet power changes everything. If you miss a day, do not quit. Do not let one failure become a pattern. Get back up the next day. Reset your alarm. Go again. That is part of discipline too. The ability to recover quickly. The ability to start again without shame. Because you are not aiming for perfection. You are aiming for consistency, for strength, for growth. Start small, but start today. Choose a time. Make it non-negotiable. Build a routine that supports your future. Plan your first hour. What will you do? How will you use that time? Make it meaningful. Make it yours. Protect it. Do not trade it for 10 more minutes of sleep. Do not waste it scrolling through things that add no value. Use it to build something inside you that lasts. You do not need more motivation. You need more follow-through. You do not need to feel inspired.
You need to take action.
The feelings will follow. The energy will grow. The clarity will come, but only if you move first. So move. Rise. Get up when you said you would. Keep your word. Show up. That is how you build the life you want. One morning at a time. The truth is, your mornings are either your greatest tool or your greatest trap. If you waste them, you lose the day. But if you own them, you own everything else. Wake up early and use that time. Use it to become sharper, stronger, clearer. Use it to do the things you never have time for. You will be amazed at what 30 focused minutes each day can do. And remember, you are not waking up early just to check a box. You are doing it to take back your time, to stop letting life pull you in every direction, to stop feeling behind, to stop feeling scattered. You are doing it to lead your day with strength and structure. That is what real discipline looks like. It is not fancy. It is not glamorous. It is quiet. It is hard. And it works. Wake up early and you will start to feel a shift, not just in your schedule, but in your mindset. You will stop waiting for the right time. You will stop delaying. You will stop avoiding. You will act. You will lead. You will move forward. And that is how real change begins. Not with one giant leap, but with one solid step. Every morning, when the alarm goes off, when you choose to rise, when you take control. Number 2. Remove distractions and focus only on your goals. Every person has the same amount of time. The difference is in what you choose to give your attention to. Most people are not held back by lack of ability. They are held back by noise, by interruptions, by things that look urgent but mean nothing. And if you do not take control of your focus, the world will decide what you do with your time. You cannot build a strong life if your attention is constantly being stolen. Discipline starts with clarity. You have to know what matters. You have to see your goals clearly. Write them down. Keep them in front of you. Not once a month. Every single day. That focus is your anchor. Without it, you drift. You scroll. You bounce between tasks. You say yes to things that don't matter. You spend hours being busy but not productive. And then you wonder why nothing is moving forward. If you want to make real progress, you must cut out what does not serve you. Turn off notifications that pull you into other people's lives. Say no to mindless scrolling that eats away your attention. Put your phone away when you are working. The mind cannot stay sharp if it is constantly switching from one thing to another. You are training your brain every day. Train it to focus. Train it to finish what it starts. There is nothing wrong with rest or enjoyment. But there is a problem when distractions become your pattern. When you run to them every time something feels difficult. When you use them to avoid responsibility. That weakens your discipline. Every time you choose comfort over growth, You make it harder to build momentum, and success needs momentum. It does not come to people who are easily swayed by every distraction. Your focus should match your ambition. If you say your goals matter, then your actions must protect them. Create an environment that supports deep work. Keep your space clean. Remove the clutter. Turn off what does not help you grow. If the people around you constantly pull you away from your path, you need to set boundaries. Not everyone can go where you are going. Not everyone will understand your commitment. And that is okay. This is your path, not theirs. Use time blocks. Break your day into focus sessions. During those blocks, give your full energy to one task. Do not multitask. Do not check your messages. Stay locked in. When you finish, take a break, then repeat. This trains your mind to perform with intensity. That intensity compounds. It helps you finish in hours what others spread across days. Because you are not leaking energy into distractions. Your energy is limited, protect it. You cannot allow every email, every message, every headline to enter your mind. Be ruthless with your input. Read what builds you. Watch what inspires you. Listen to what sharpens your thinking. Stop feeding your mind things that dull your drive. You cannot stay focused if you are constantly consuming noise. Most people say they want change, but their habits show they are chasing comfort. If your goals matter, then your focus must reflect that. You cannot keep chasing goals with a distracted mind. It is not about how many things you can juggle. It is about how well you can lock in on the one thing that moves you forward. That is how discipline is developed. Through intentional focus. There is power in saying no. No to useless conversations. No to time-wasting habits. No to things that feel good in the moment but take you off track. Every no is a yes to your future. Every no clears space for your goals. Make your goals your priority, not an afterthought. Build your schedule around them. Build your day around them. Do not squeeze them in. Make them non-negotiable. Track your time. Notice where it goes. At the end of the day, ask yourself if your actions matched your goals. Be honest. If they did not, make adjustments. You are not stuck. You are not helpless. You are just distracted. And that is something you can fix. But you must be intentional. You must be deliberate. You must stop blaming and start deciding. Set boundaries. If people interrupt your work, speak up. Let them know your time matters. Protect your time like it is gold. Because it is. You only get one life. You only get one shot at today. Use it wisely. Make it count. Do not hand it away to things that will not matter next week. Your discipline is tested in the moments when distractions call your name. Choose strength. You do not need more time. You need more focus. 10 hours of distracted effort will never beat 2 hours of clear, locked-in work. When you cut the noise, you get to the truth. You see what really needs to be done. And then you do it. No waiting. No hesitating. Just execution. That is where confidence comes from. From doing what you said you would do. Without delay. Write down your top 3 priorities for the day. Just 3. Keep them in front of you. Start with the hardest one. Block out everything else until it is done. Do not check your phone. Do not look at your messages. Finish what you start, then move on to the next. This builds trust with yourself. You are showing yourself that you can follow through. Stop chasing everything at once. That leads to burnout. That leads to disappointment. Pick what matters most and give it your full energy. That focus will separate you. That focus will put you ahead. Because most people are scattered. They are everywhere. You do not have to be. You can be locked in. You can be clear. You can move with purpose. Every distraction you remove is a door you open to growth. Every time you choose focus, you grow your capacity. You sharpen your mind. You build habits that serve you for life. This is not just about one goal. This is about the kind of person you are becoming. A person who does not bend to every temptation. A person who keeps moving forward. You do not rise by accident. You rise by discipline. You rise by focus. You rise by doing what others avoid. Distractions are easy. Focus is earned. Earn it every day. Show yourself what it looks like to commit. Not for a day. Not for a week. But every single time it is hard. That is the discipline that transforms lives. That is the discipline that builds legacies. Number 3. Write your tasks and finish them without delay. Discipline begins with clarity. You cannot act with purpose if you don't know exactly what needs to be done. The mind responds well to structure. That is why writing your tasks matters. When you keep everything in your head, it gets heavy. It turns into mental noise. You forget things. You feel overwhelmed. You get stuck in cycles of starting and stopping. But when you write it down, you bring order to the chaos. You make the invisible visible. You turn intention into something solid. Start each day by making a list, not just any list. Make a list of tasks that push you forward. Don't write down what's easy. Write what's necessary. Be honest with yourself about what needs your attention. Don't fill the list with small things just to feel busy. Fill it with the things that actually matter. When you write it, you take ownership of it. It's no longer just a thought floating around. It's a commitment waiting for action. Now, here's the part most people miss. You can't just write the list. You have to act on it without delay. If you write your tasks and let them sit, nothing changes. The list is not the solution. It's the start. What changes you is your ability to move fast, to start without hesitation. The longer you wait, the harder it gets. Delay creates doubt. You begin to question if now is the right time. You begin to tell yourself stories. You waste time reasoning with your excuses. The real power is in getting things done as soon as possible. Finish what you start. Close the loop. Don't leave open tasks hanging over your head. Every unfinished task drains your energy. It lingers in the back of your mind. It adds pressure. But every finished task gives you momentum. It builds belief. It tells your mind that you are the kind of person who follows through. If the task is small, do it immediately. Don't put it on the list for later. Get it out of the way and move on. If it's big, break it down. Make it manageable. Then take the first step, even if it's uncomfortable, even if it's boring. Action creates clarity. Action builds confidence. If you wait until you feel like it, you'll never get it done. Discipline means doing it, whether you feel like it or not. You don't need to be perfect. You need to be consistent. Finish your tasks, one at a time. Don't bounce around. Don't start 5 things and finish none. Pick one and stay with it until it's done. Then move to the next. That order creates results. It sharpens your thinking. It simplifies your day. It keeps your mind clear and focused. Crossing something off your list is not just about productivity. It's about integrity. You said you would do it, and you did. That keeps your self-respect alive. It builds internal strength. You begin to trust yourself more. You become more reliable. That's what discipline is really about. Being someone you can count on, even when no one else is watching. Set deadlines for your tasks. Without a timeline, you will drift. You will keep saying, "I'll do it later," until later turns into never. Give each task a time and a place. Structure your day. Block off time. Make the task the priority during that time. No distractions. No multitasking. Give it your full effort. Even 30 focused minutes can move your entire day forward. Some tasks are uncomfortable. You might feel resistance. That's normal. But that's also where your growth lives. Don't avoid those tasks. Face them early. Get them done before your mind starts negotiating. Procrastination grows stronger the longer you wait. Defeat it with action. Train your mind to move, not to pause. You don't need a fancy planner or an app. A piece of paper and a pen is enough. What matters is the habit. The discipline to plan your day with intention. The habit of finishing what you planned. Every time you do, you strengthen your mindset. You get sharper. You get faster. You get more efficient. You create a rhythm that pushes you forward without burnout. Keep your list realistic. Don't overload it. 3 to 5 meaningful tasks are better than 10 half-hearted ones. You're not trying to be busy. You're trying to be effective. You're trying to get results. Focus on what moves the needle. Focus on what actually matters. That's where your time should go. At the end of the day, review your list. Check off what you finished. Look at what's left. Ask yourself why it didn't get done. Was it a lack of time or a lack of focus? Was it fear or avoidance? Be honest. That reflection helps you adjust. It helps you improve. It keeps you honest with yourself. There's something powerful about seeing your work in front of you. A completed task list is a record of your progress. It shows your growth. It reminds you that you're capable. You don't need to make huge leaps every day, but if you keep finishing your tasks, if you keep building that pattern, you'll look back and realize how far you've come. Start your day with action. Don't let the morning drift. Wake up and look at your list. Pick the hardest task and get to work. That early win sets the tone. It shifts your energy. It reminds you that you are in control. That's what discipline is. It's taking control of your actions before the day takes control of you. Avoid distractions during task time. Put your phone in another room. Turn off anything that pulls your mind away. When it's time to work. Give it your best. Don't half do it. Don't drag it out. Get it done. That speed becomes a habit. That efficiency becomes your standard. You don't need motivation to finish a task. You need structure. You need clarity. You need urgency. Write it. Look at it. Then act. Don't wait for the right mood. Don't wait for inspiration. Just start. Even if it's rough. Even if it's slow. Movement leads to improvement. But standing still gets you nothing. Every finished task adds to your identity. It tells your mind you are someone who follows through. Someone who acts with purpose. Someone who gets results. That belief matters. It fuels your future actions. It turns effort into lifestyle. It turns dreams into habits. There's no secret to high performance. It's just showing up and doing the work every day. Writing it down. Doing it without delay. That's how you create freedom. Not by avoiding work, but by facing it, finishing it, owning your time, owning your choices. Discipline is not something that shows up all at once. It's something you build through small decisions done right. Be clear, be focused, be fast. Write your tasks and finish them. That simple act will shape your day, shape your character, and shape your future. Number 4. Train your body daily to sharpen your inner strength. Every day you train your body, you also shape your mind. The two are not separate. What you do with your body echoes into your thinking. When you push your body beyond comfort, you're teaching your mind how to endure. You're proving to yourself that you can handle pressure, discomfort, and resistance. That matters. Because life doesn't just demand mental strength, it demands full strength. And physical discipline becomes a gateway to emotional and mental control. You don't have to be an athlete to train your body. You don't need expensive equipment. You need commitment. You need a reason strong enough to get moving, even when it's cold, when it's inconvenient, when you feel tired. The discipline to move every day is not just about health. It's about building consistency. It's about showing up for yourself on purpose, without excuses. When your body moves, your energy rises, your focus sharpens, your posture changes, your breathing deepens, your emotions begin to shift. You stop dragging through the day, you start stepping into it with presence. That's not accidental, that's earned, through movement, through action, through effort. Every drop of sweat is a message to yourself that you're not going to sit back and let life pass you by. The way you treat your body is a reflection of how seriously you take your future. If you neglect your physical health, you're telling yourself that comfort matters more than growth. But when you train your body daily, even for just 30 minutes, you're declaring that you will not be soft, passive, or easy to break. You're building a body that's ready for the demands of your goals. You're reinforcing habits that lead to real change. When you move your body first thing in the morning, you start the day in power. You don't wait for motivation, you create it. A strong body doesn't come from one big workout. It comes from the discipline to move again and again, especially when it's the last thing you feel like doing. That's where the real development happens. Not in the comfort, but in the consistent challenge. People talk about self-discipline like it's only in the mind. But you build it faster when you use your body. When you wake up and go on that run. When you drop down and do the push-ups. When you go to the gym and lift. When you stretch even though you'd rather sit. These are choices. Not random moments of effort, but proof that you are taking full responsibility for your life. There's no perfect routine. What matters is that you move. Whether it's walking, lifting, sprinting, or body weight drills, it all counts. Just make it count daily. You don't wait for the mood. You create the pattern. That pattern feeds your mindset. You stop saying maybe later and start saying I do this because I need this. It becomes part of who you are. Training your body teaches you to push through discomfort. That's a valuable skill, because life won't always feel good. Some days are hard. Some tasks feel heavy. If you've trained your body to keep going when it's hard, you'll train your mind to do the same. That's not something you read in a book. That's something you earn under pressure, when you choose to keep going anyway. A disciplined body creates a stable foundation. You don't get overwhelmed as easily. You don't fold under stress. You recover faster. You think clearer. You become more resilient. That's the power of physical training. It strengthens parts of you that aren't even physical. It builds grit. It builds presence. It builds habits that carry into every part of your life. You don't have to love it. You have to value it. You might not feel excited every day. You might feel soreness. You might feel tired. But the discipline isn't in loving the process. It's in doing it anyway. In showing up for yourself. In recognizing that the more you move your body, the more you control your life. Because you're not being led by laziness. You're being led by intention. Start small if you need to. Don't aim for perfection. Aim for consistency. Even a 15-minute workout done with intensity is better than an hour of wishing. You can always do more later. Right now, just focus on the discipline, the habit, the choice. You are training your body not to look a certain way but to act a certain way, to be steady, strong, and capable of keeping up with your dreams. You don't wait until you feel strong. You train until you become strong. Each rep, each step, each round. It's not just about muscles. It's about identity. It's about the story you tell yourself. You're not just someone who works out. You're someone who follows through. You're someone who refuses to give up. You're someone who says, I will do what needs to be done, and proves it. If you want to lead a disciplined life, your body must be in the habit of movement. It cannot be idle. It cannot be trained by convenience. Your body is your first environment. Keep it in order. Strengthen it. Fuel it. Push it. Every day you train your body, you train your will. You say, I'm not here to be average. I'm here to grow. Daily movement also creates mental clarity. You think faster. You feel less fog. You focus with more intensity. That clarity helps you make better choices. It helps you stay on track. When your body feels strong, your decisions feel easier. You're not distracted by fatigue. You're not dragged down by low energy. You walk into your day with force. That force gives you the edge. Your energy is earned. You can't borrow it. You can't buy it. You create it. With your habits. With your actions. With your discipline. Movement is the key. Keep it simple. But keep it daily. You're not just trying to get fit. You're trying to get prepared. For life. For challenges. For leadership. For opportunity. That preparation comes from discipline in motion. When others are sleeping in, you're moving. When others are making excuses, you're acting. That decision alone builds something deep inside you. A belief that no matter what happens around you, you will keep going. You will stay sharp. You will stay ready. You will not be shaken by difficulty because you've trained yourself to face it daily. Training your body is not about appearance. It's about responsibility. The responsibility to show up. The responsibility to prepare yourself. The responsibility to build habits that align with your goals. Your body is not separate from your mission. It's part of the mission. If it's weak, everything suffers. If it's strong, everything rises. You don't need permission to start. You don't need perfect gear or a perfect plan. You need the decision, the action, the repetition, and you need it today. Not next week. Not when things slow down. Now, because discipline is not built later. It is built in the moment you decide to act. Even when it's hard. Even when it's inconvenient. Your body can handle more than you think. Push it. Respect it. Train it. Make it a daily ritual. Let it remind you every morning that you are capable. Let it teach you that pain is temporary, but strength is permanent. Let it guide your mind to sharper thinking, quicker decisions, and deeper confidence. Because when your body is disciplined, your life follows. Number 5. Say no to temptations that steal your progress. Every time you say no to something that pulls you away from your goals, you are saying yes to your future. Temptations show up dressed as comfort, pleasure, and ease, but what they really do is take you further from the life you're trying to build. Whether it's wasting hours on your phone, eating what you said you wouldn't, sleeping in when you plan to work, or avoiding tasks that matter, these choices stack up. Not all at once, but slowly, one small decision at a time. That's where most people lose their progress. Not through huge mistakes, but through little agreements with weakness. Discipline means doing what needs to be done, even when distractions are louder than your purpose. It means being stronger than the urge to take the easy path. When you choose to say no to a distraction, you are reinforcing the part of yourself that wants a better life. That matters, because you can't expect to win if you keep giving in to the things that always held you back. Temptation is not just about habits, it's about identity. Every time you give in, you're telling yourself, I'm someone who breaks my own word. But every time you resist, every time you stand your ground, you're telling yourself, I'm someone who follows through. That is how self-respect is built. Not with talk, with decisions. You have to train yourself to think beyond the moment. In the moment, that distraction looks harmless. That indulgence feels small. But when you step back and look at the big picture, you realize how many moments like that have robbed you of momentum. The movie you didn't need to watch. The call you didn't need to answer. The food you didn't need to eat. The nap you didn't need to take. They all took something from you. Time. Energy. Focus. If you want to grow, you need boundaries. You need to draw a line between what helps you and what hurts you. And that line must be clear. Not maybe. Not sometimes. Not when it's easy. You need to say, this is the path I've chosen, and anything that threatens that path has no place in my daily life. That's a personal standard. You don't have to explain it. You don't have to justify it. You just have to live it. Some people around you won't understand. They might tell you to loosen up, relax, enjoy yourself, but they don't carry your goals. You do. They don't live with your regrets. You do. The progress you want comes from making strong decisions when nobody's watching. From saying no when it would be easier to say yes. From choosing growth over gratification. You can't beat temptation by hoping it goes away. You beat it by preparing for it. You know where it shows up. You know when it hits hardest. Maybe it's late at night. Maybe it's when you're bored. Maybe it's when you're stressed. That's when you need a system, a plan, a set of actions that kick in before you drift into old habits. You don't wait to feel strong. You build strength in advance. You create routines that guard your time, guard your mind, guard your decisions. When you say no to something that doesn't serve you, you open the door to something that does. That's the trade. You can't have both. You can't build a sharp mind and feed it garbage. You can't build focus and live distracted. You can't build a great life while entertaining behaviors that weaken you. Discipline is not punishment. It is protection. It keeps you on the track you promised yourself you would walk. Progress doesn't come from doing what's convenient. It comes from doing what's necessary. And what's necessary isn't always fun. It's not always popular. But it's always worth it. You can look in the mirror and know you're living with intent. You're not being pulled around by urges. You're choosing your steps. You're honoring your future over your feelings. People who achieve real change learn to pause before they act. They feel the pull of temptation, and they stop. They ask themselves, will this bring me closer to my goal or further away? That one question, when asked honestly, can save you months of wasted time. That pause gives you back your power. It separates reaction from response. It allows you to choose rather than surrender. You don't have to eliminate every temptation overnight. But you have to start eliminating some. The ones you know are taking the most from you. It might be a habit. It might be a person. It might be a place. If it keeps leading you back to failure, you have to let it go. That's what growth demands. Hard choices. And if you want a better life, you must make those choices without apology. The mind becomes clearer when it's not clouded by regret. When you say no to the things that always set you back, you begin to feel lighter, more focused, more honest. You're no longer pretending you're committed. You're proving it. And that proof builds belief. You stop doubting your ability. You start trusting your actions. That kind of confidence can't be faked. It's built in the fire of self-denial. Your time is valuable. Your energy is limited. Your focus is precious. You cannot afford to waste them on things that take more than they give. Say no to what numbs you. Say no to what distracts you. Say no to what derails your plans. Because every yes to a bad habit is a no to progress. Every yes to laziness is a no to potential. Every yes to weakness is a no to strength. You will be tested. You will be tempted. That's not a question. But you are not powerless. You are not a victim of habit. You are a creator of direction. You decide what stays in your life and what doesn't. You are capable of rising above patterns that used to control you. You are able to choose your next move with clarity and purpose. Every day you say no to temptation, you grow stronger. You gain more self-control. You sharpen your discipline. That strength starts to show in how you carry yourself, in how you work, in how you speak, in how you think. People around you will notice it. You will notice it. And that will push you even further. The goal is not perfection. The goal is progress. The goal is to improve your decision-making one step at a time. You might fall. You might slip. But if you're committed to standing back up and learning from it, you'll keep getting better, stronger, more focused. That's how lasting discipline is built. Real freedom comes when you are no longer ruled by every craving or impulse. You are no longer easily swayed by momentary pleasure. You are in control of your direction. That's the result of thousands of little decisions to say no when it would have been easier to say yes. Keep guarding your progress. Keep honoring your word. Keep resisting the temptations that held the old version of you in place. You are not here to settle. You are here to rise. Number 6. Stick to routines even when you feel unmotivated. The strongest people in the world are not the ones who always feel driven, but the ones who act even when they don't. Discipline is not about waiting to feel right. It's about doing what needs to be done, whether you feel like it or not. And this is where routines become your greatest ally. Routines remove the emotion out of decision-making. They give structure to the day, especially on the days where your energy is low or your focus is scattered. When your mind wants to slow down, routines tell it, this is what we do now. There will be days when motivation disappears. Days when you wake up tired, discouraged, or stressed. Days when the task seems too big, the results too far. But if you've built a routine, you don't need to talk yourself into anything. You just show up. You follow the system, you trust the plan. Because discipline isn't born from excitement, it's shaped in the moments where you act in the absence of excitement. Routines are not about rigidity, they're about creating a rhythm that supports your long-term vision. They help you focus when your mood wants to wander. They provide clarity when the day feels chaotic. They serve as reminders that you have made a decision to live intentionally. That decision matters more than how you feel on any given morning. When you rely only on how you feel, you live in reaction. You go wherever your emotions take you. And those emotions are not always reliable. Sometimes you feel energized. Other times you feel flat. That's human. But if your results depend on motivation, your progress will always be inconsistent. And inconsistency kills dreams. That's why routines matter. They make your habits stronger than your mood. The person who follows their routine, even on bad days, gains an edge that others never experience. Because those are the days that build mental toughness. Not the days when everything feels easy, but the days when every action requires effort. You build a reputation with yourself in those moments. You prove that you are dependable. You prove that your commitment is real. Sticking to your routine isn't always about getting extraordinary results right away. Often, it's about maintaining momentum, about not losing the ground you've already gained. Even if you can't give your best effort, you give something. You stay in motion. You don't pause the mission just because today feels heavier than yesterday. You keep moving forward. Even if it's one step at a time, there is power in showing up. in doing the work when no one is watching, in keeping your promises to yourself when you'd rather rest. These small acts create strength that cannot be taken from you, and over time, this strength reflects in your results. You begin to move with purpose. You gain control over your day. You become someone who finishes what they start. People often look for shortcuts. They ask for the secret to success. But what they don't realize is that the secret is boring. It's repetition. It's doing what you said you'd do, over and over, especially when it's hard, especially when your emotions try to convince you to stop. That's what separates disciplined individuals from everyone else. They do not wait for the perfect mood. They act because it's time. You cannot grow if you only work when it feels good. Growth requires you to face resistance and keep going. It requires you to stand tall when your mind whispers excuses. It requires you to push through discomfort, because your future is worth more than your current feeling. A routine gives you the structure to do that. It gives you direction when your motivation has nothing to offer. Sometimes the routine will feel boring, predictable, repetitive, but that's what it's supposed to be. It's not supposed to entertain you. It's supposed to build you, and it can only build you if you stay consistent. If you return to it even when you're tired of it. If you honor it even when you think you don't need it today. You won't feel proud every single time you follow through, but you'll be glad you did. Because every time you stick to your routine on a tough day, you send a message to yourself that you are serious, that you mean what you say, that you are stronger than your circumstances. This is how character is shaped, one disciplined act at a time. If you struggle to stay consistent, don't wait for a surge of willpower. Prepare your environment. Keep your plan visible. Set reminders. Reduce the number of decisions you have to make. Make your routine easy to begin, even if it's hard to finish. The first step is always the hardest. But once you start, momentum begins to build. You don't need a perfect routine. You need a practiced one. You need a rhythm that fits your life and supports your goals. And most importantly, you need to treat that routine as non-negotiable. Not something you do when it's convenient, but something you do because you have decided to lead yourself well. That decision is your anchor. When you keep showing up, people notice. But more importantly, you notice. You notice the difference in your energy, in your self-talk, in your ability to stay focused when others drift, and that awareness reinforces the value of your routine. It's not just about what you do. It's about who you become in the process. Motivation can inspire you to start, but only discipline will take you to the finish line. And discipline is built inside routines that you stick to, even when your feelings are working against you. That's how goals are achieved. That's how growth is sustained. That's how self-respect is earned. There will be seasons where everything in your life feels busy, days when your schedule is packed, moments when everything asks for your attention, but your routine must remain the priority. Because the moment you start breaking it, you start breaking your momentum, and rebuilding momentum is harder than keeping it. Build routines that protect your time. Build routines that support your energy. Build routines that train your focus. And when the excuses come, as they will, don't entertain them. Remind yourself why you began. Remind yourself what's at stake. You're not doing this for fun. You're doing it to build a life that reflects your values. When you commit to your routine in moments of low energy, you build the kind of discipline that doesn't disappear when life gets hard. You train yourself to be reliable. You gain the ability to function under pressure. You develop the resilience to stick to your path when the road gets rough. Every time you follow through on your routine when you don't feel like it, you are growing. You are building endurance. You are showing yourself that you are not dependent on temporary emotions to do permanent things. That's real strength. That's the kind of strength that carries you through every season of life. Number 7. Track your actions and review your progress weekly. One of the greatest tools for building self-discipline is knowing exactly where your time and effort are going. Without tracking your actions, without keeping a clear account of what you're doing day to day, you're simply guessing. And guesswork will never produce mastery. You have to be honest with yourself. You have to know when you're consistent and when you're falling short. Most people avoid this step not because it's difficult, but because it requires them to face the truth. But the truth, even when uncomfortable, is the foundation for real growth. Tracking is not about being perfect. It's about paying attention. It's about creating awareness. When you write down what you've done, when you see it in front of you, something changes. You no longer rely on how you feel about your performance. You can see the facts. You gain a clearer picture of how you're showing up. And when you track, you begin to recognize patterns. You notice which days you're consistent, which times you're distracted, which routines are helping you, and which habits are holding you back. That kind of clarity is power. People say they want progress. They say they want to improve, but how do you measure improvement without tracking anything? Progress is not about just going through the motions. It's about doing better than you did last week. It's about raising your standard one step at a time, but that only happens when you're aware of your baseline. And that baseline only becomes visible when you start recording your actions. Writing things down makes them real. When you finish your daily work, note it. When you miss a task, record it. Be accurate, not emotional. This isn't about judgment. It's about responsibility. Tracking teaches you how to be accountable. It teaches you how to own your behavior. And when you own it, you can change it. You can't adjust what you're not even aware of. That's why discipline begins with awareness. That's why tracking is non-negotiable. Once you've tracked your actions, you must go a step further. You need to review your progress. Every single week, take time to look back. Reflect on what went right. Study what broke down. Ask yourself honest questions. Did I do what I said I would do? Did I let distractions win? Did I push myself or coast through the days? Reviewing is where discipline sharpens. You begin to make small adjustments. You start to see how tiny actions lead to large results. A weekly review is not just a habit, it's a conversation with yourself. A chance to check your direction. A moment to realign with your goals. You don't need hours. You need 15 or 20 minutes of your full attention. Look at what you did. Look at what you avoided. Look at where you grew and where you stood still. Then ask yourself what needs to improve in the coming days. Be specific. Be direct. The more honest you are, the more useful the review becomes. This process builds momentum. When you track and review, you see that progress is not a mystery. It's a matter of patterns, of effort, of daily decisions. You don't just wake up successful. You build it one action at a time. And when you see those actions recorded, you feel that progress. It becomes visible. And that's incredibly motivating. Because now you're no longer walking in the dark. You're walking with direction, with clarity, with awareness of what's working. Discipline thrives in structure, but structure needs feedback. You need to know if what you're doing is moving you forward. If you're just repeating the same actions without tracking, you might stay busy but never get better. That's not growth. That's stagnation. But when you track and review, you bring intelligence to your work. You're not just putting in time, you're improving your effectiveness. Think about it this way. Imagine building a house with no measurements, no blueprint, just random pieces stacked together. That structure would never last. But if you measure, if you plan, if you review each layer, the building becomes solid. That's how your habits should be treated. With precision, with care, with reflection. Start small. Track your top priorities. Just a few actions each day that matter most. It could be your morning routine, your time spent learning, your workouts, your focused work hours. Whatever matters to your growth, track it. Use a notebook. Use a digital tool. The format doesn't matter. The commitment does. What matters is that you do it daily, and that you look at it weekly, because without review you miss the lessons. People often say they're disciplined, but when you ask them what they did last week, they can't tell you. They give vague answers. I worked hard. I tried my best. That's not clarity. That's emotion. Discipline is not emotional. It's built on facts, built on tracking, built on reviewing what happened, and making adjustments based on results. That's how professionals operate. That's how real achievers grow. And yes, sometimes it will be uncomfortable. You'll see where you fell short. You'll notice the time you wasted. You'll realize that your output didn't match your potential. That's the point. That's where growth starts. Not in hiding from the truth, but in embracing it. In using it to push yourself. In saying, I didn't do well here, but now I know what to fix. That kind of honesty builds resilience. It builds maturity. It builds real inner strength. You don't need to wait for someone else to tell you how you're doing. You can tell yourself, but only if you're tracking. Only if you're reviewing. Self-awareness is your edge. Most people move through life without it. They don't ask questions. They don't study themselves. But you can. You must. If you want to live with discipline, you need that feedback loop. Track, review, adjust, improve. That's the cycle. That's the strategy. And the review should not just be about what you did. It should include how you felt, what distracted you, what energized you, what habits helped you stay focused. The more details you gather, the more insights you create. And those insights turn into smarter decisions. Decisions that align with your goals. Decisions that move you forward, even when the pace is slow. Every great result comes from consistent effort. But that consistency is easier to maintain when you have proof of your actions. When you see that the work is adding up. When you realize that each small task is part of a larger picture. That's the gift of tracking. That's the value of a weekly review. It reminds you that your effort matters. That your discipline is shaping your future in ways you may not feel yet, but will absolutely see in time. If you want to live intentionally, you can't guess your way through life. You need to know what you're doing. You need to evaluate. You need to be willing to learn from yourself. The person who reflects is the person who grows. Track every meaningful action. Reflect every week. Hold yourself to the highest standard. That's how you turn discipline into a lifestyle. That's how you stay on course. That's how you become the person who finishes strong.